Okay, so
Just gonna get
we're
annoyed.
back. We thought we'd do another fourth live, fifth live. So here we are. Um, we are going to today talk about conscious parenting, self-care, resourcing, and creating magic. So quite exciting ones lined up. Did want to say thank you so much for the donations. That is very kind of everyone. Massively. So thank you. Right. So I think let's just jump straight in.
Amazing.
Splendid.
Okay.
So conscious parenting. So this one's been great really for me because it's just exponentially over the years got more into fruition. Yeah, really indeed.
What does it mean to you?
For me, it means I don't know, just how you respect my space. First of all, is massively important because it makes me feel like safe in my house, and that I can like do what I want, and like if, for example, I don't want you to come in my room, I know that's going to be respected. So just for example, yeah, just I think conscious parenting, that word is like sort of for me means being really conscious of who you're parenting is, like what they're feeling and what's like going on for them, and being really mindful of that, and not letting any of your pieces or your shadow as a parent sort of override what, because you've got that power over them if you're the parent, not to override your child's like needs or wants, like what, yeah. I think
Amazing, Henry.
something I find helpful
Amazing.
nowadays.
I love that you're talking about the power dynamic, because there is an inherent power dynamic when we're parents, and I love. I'm just going to make reflections. Is that okay to what you were saying? Yeah. I love that you're speaking about how important it is for parents to be aware of containing their own processes and not like putting them onto their child, and being mindful of the children's needs and experience and process. And it's like this creates this meeting place and this honouring of both people. And do you want to speak more to that? How is that evidence? Do you want to give some examples?
I don't know. My brain doesn't work so well in the mornings.
That's okay.
So the example I said earlier of just like, if I need my space in my room, and that's just honoured if I say it.
Yeah.
Or like I need, like we come back and we've just come back from doing shopping, and I just like feel wiped out, and I'm just like, I need some space now. I'll come and we'll do the putting away in like half an hour or so. And that just gets honoured. Is really helpful to just know that if I need time, I can have that, and that will be respected.
It's beautiful, Henry.
Especially like, I mean, if I was at school right now, I think I'd need that even more, because it's just like not fun.
Why wasn't school fun?
I could talk about this for hours. Just
Why don't you say a
the
few?
whole system for me is just like really terrible. Like,
Why?
well, it just shapes everyone that goes to school, and all these young people that are like sponges. Like everything they learn, they take on because they're like new to the world. And you're just getting fed like, first of all, you got this get in at 8:30, leave at 3, so that's like the whole 9 to 5 is sort of being imprinted, so that's normal. And then just like the regulation there. No, I don't think is that the word?
Yeah, regulation.
Is it?
Yeah, the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And maybe we need to add that you were at a state school. You weren't
I was
homeschooled.
at a state school,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But I think like it has sort of taught me. Obviously, I realise why the state school is like that. Because it just makes loads of workers basically, which is like, and it just, yeah, the rules and regulations also like keep you on this like one track of this is how life is, 9 to 5, get a job, that's your life. When like it can be so much more. And like going to Tanju made me realise that completely.
Amazing, Henry. And you know what you were speaking about around the conscious parenting and being aware of young people's needs and processes. You know, my feeling, and that was the experience with parenting you in the state education. It was just like trying to force you to be in to adhere to a system that just was not honouring you and your needs and your healing journey. So I felt like I was having to constantly advocate, which was okay, but it's you know, when we're talking about honouring the individual, I feel like the state education doesn't do that. You know, I didn't even think we were going to be talking about this today. But in some ways, do you feel like it served you, having that experience?
I think it really taught me of like why everyone, or like most people, go to school and then go to university and then get in the debt and like that's sort of how life just goes. So many people, and I realised that's just, if no one did that, then society wouldn't really work so well. So I get why.
I'm just noticing that dear Abigail's watching us. Good morning,
hello.
dear Abigail. Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, it's sort of, I'd say like 95% wasn't helpful experience. 5% I did learn. Like, I didn't really learn much from the actual school system. I was really like not into it. Yeah, and like, if I'm getting forced to learn something, I like completely just automatically don't want to learn.
Do you think what I'm understanding from what you're sharing is that it supported you more about what you don't want, what doesn't work?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and what you do need, and it's a whole different way. And that's, you know, when you were speaking about the 9 to 5 as well, Henry, I really resonate with that because I can't function in a 9 to 5 either. And this is dear Abigail saying this. My daughter feels the same way. She's 15 and is in school very little. That was it. And I even remember with dear Henry letting him have like pajama days, you know. And another sister inspired me with this actually because it's so overwhelming. This constant duvet day. That was it. Duvet day. Like when you just don't have to be ill, but you just have a day off, you know.
Yeah.
And I just constantly advocated him because I would always share my truth. You know, I was constantly, you know, having like experience, like processes with the headmistress. Luckily, she was really supportive, you know, for Henry's needs. But I just feel like we need to be honouring the individual and the individual's needs.
Yeah.
There was a piece I was just going to say about like self-care and the 9 to 5 and like being able to find our own way and our own body's needs and our own body's pace and when we need to rest and when we need to resource, and that just doesn't fit in with the 9 to 5, whether it's school or work, I find.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you'd like to share about the conscious parenting or ask me?
Yeah, like, I guess that you've sort of learnt this over the years. I must say I'm very grateful that you have, and that you did start learning how to do conscious parenting. Massively good now.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you. maybe I could speak to that process, like how I learnt.
Tell me.
Well, I feel like I'm still learning, and I was just sharing with a dear client yesterday that I feel like the more I learn, the more I feel like I don't know. So it's like really humbling. And I think part of my journey as a parent was like healing myself, like really facing, the depth of the abuse, the trauma, the neglect I'd experienced as a child, going deeply into that and healing this in me, and then being able to have awareness of the impact, like what happened to me, and that is not what I want to carry on repeating, like these patterns with my children. I'm just naming that. We're in a process right now where my beloved daughter, I know a lot of you know about this, is not in contact, so that's still in my heart, and the relationship with my beloved son Henry has just deepened and deepened and deepened on this journey of healing, because it's like healing myself and healing my own patternings and woundings, and then having the awareness of how that I don't want that to play out with my children. And I think there's a big piece about capacity, because as my capacity expanded, I could contain myself more, and then not like it's like emotionally hemorrhage onto my children, or have like entitlement or expectations that they like. I'll talk about you because obviously we've been in relationship all the way through, but not have like an entitlement or expectation that you should be holding my process or taking care of me. That's my responsibility. So it's really having like the boundaries and the awareness that I have to resource myself outside of our relationship so I can be in the role of mother. It's like the roles, I'm the big one, Henry's the little one in that dynamic. So supporting Henry, and I notice the more I've healed myself, the more capacity I've got to hold you and honour you and support you in your process. And is there anything you'd like to share in response to that?
I think that's definitely right. And you talk about the shadow quite a lot, which is just a part of you that's sort of built up to either protect yourself or as like a defense mechanism. It can sort of be anything, but it's sort of negative behaviour.
Yeah, for sure.
And just like having a normal thing where if this does come up for either of us, the other just speaking it and like putting the light on the shadow.
Right.
So it just it's not a shadow anymore because there's light on it.
I love that you're speaking to that, Henry. And we just do it all the time. We even just did it before the call this morning. Process like what's between us. Are we feeling clear? Is there anything heavy on my heart? Is there any resentment? Is there any sadness, grief, or frustration? So let's get clear. And because of the communication, how we process is by honouring our own feelings. So I feel, and then the other person can feel into where their part is on that. Like, is it the other one's responsibility? Is it a projection? But being really integral with our own experience and the shadow, like you say, Henry, because that then really honours the relationship and it creates so much safety.
Indeed,
I find.
Yeah. And like just if you can sort of have that as a practice, as you say, you just build up so much trust in the relationship that you can just like deal with any of these issues, and it's just normal to just like have something coming up and then sorting it out in like under 3 minutes.
I know.
In the past it would have taken a lot longer.
Okay, but do you want to speak to that or not really?
Well, that's sort of it. Just would take a lot longer.
Yeah. Well, because we're learning, aren't we? I mean, I didn't learn any of these skills. We're learning them as we go.
Indeed, and that's why it's good to impart it.
Yeah, to share.
Indeed.
Quite right, darling. And there was a piece that you just said about like bringing things into the light. Yeah, like taking ownership and clearing. And that was what I was wanting to speak to. It's about anger. It's like anger's welcome, You know, I mean, that was what I was going to ask you, darling. You know, like you're a man. You know, you're 18 now, and so how is conscious parenting supporting you growing into your adulthood? How is that supporting you?
It has helped me with,
Carry on.
like, I don't know, just like having a space here where I can just do what I want, just be completely like free to feel any emotion and like just talk it out with you and just like whatever is there and just experience that. But I think we may have.
Yeah, there's a message from dear Abigail. Thank you, dear Abigail. Just hearing you saying it took me years. It took years for us to stand. She needed you to stand back and allow her to rest and find her way. Yeah, what do you feel about that?
It's completely right.
And thank you for sharing. And thank you for trusting us, dear Abigail.
Yeah, that's really good, David. Because that's what you need, just like more space.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause it's like so like in your face, especially with the school. You're like just new to life as well, and like you just got all these things you got to do every day, like the teachers, the rules, the homework.
God.
And then like, yeah, like the home life is like massively important, because if that's not so helpful as well, then it's just horrible at that time.
Oh yeah, I know from my own childhood. So thank you for sharing that, Henry. Home needs to be a sacred space to be. Yeah, and maybe then that leads us on to talk about self-care and resourcing. Do you want to speak a bit about that?
Maybe one more thing.
Okay.
Like with the conscious parenting, like also to have empathy if you are a parent and you do make these mistakes.
I love that.
It's really important to like, yeah, just like go easy on yourself and realise like what the root of it is, understand where that's coming from, and like try and heal that a bit and like change the pattern, whatever it is. Because like with you've like massively changed from like how it used to be.
Do you want to share about that?
Well, it wasn't so good before, so it was like there was a lot of trauma going around and a lot of patterns that you were playing out that were like really damaging for me. And then like obviously you sort of switched that around completely, which I'm massively grateful for. It sort of taught me the both sides of what it's like. And yeah, it's quite incredible how you've sort of switched everything around and like just done so much healing, and yeah, it's like it's quite incredible. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Henry. And I continue to be sorry of the impact that my past behaviours have had on you in your life. Yeah. And thank you for sharing, and thank you for your love and your trust. And I think this is a big piece. I think it's the love and the trust and the belief in me that Henry constantly has, and seeing the best in me that just keeps me going and keeps me, you know, believing in myself and that I can do better. And I love, darling, what you were saying about going like empathy, because God, such a pattern of being a parent, and I don't know if anyone listening to this feels this, but is guilt, like feeling we're fucking up, we're not doing well enough, we're not good enough, we're we're somehow wrong, you know, and like, and that could often send me into like real like shame spirals and guilt spirals. And I think because of developing so much compassion and empathy, you know, for myself and my own mother, my own parents, you know, like that we do the best we can with the resources and the tools that we have at the time that are available to us. So just compassion for past versions of myself that I was repeating, like reenacting patterns that like in my subconscious that weren't even in the light. I wasn't even aware that I was doing. So it's just taken so much commitment to love. And can I share something that I'll always remember that you did? Henry wrote me. I remember when, like, one of the hardest times in my life, Henry actually wrote me, and he hates writing, don't you? You don't like writing. No, he doesn't like writing. And he wrote me these messages, and probably, how old were you? You were probably like 11 at the time, and he wrote me all these messages. Mummy, I love you. Mummy, you're beautiful. Mummy, you're the best mummy. Mummy, I believe in you. Mummy, keep going. Mummy, you're resilient. Mummy, you're so patient. Mummy, you're so kind. And he, like, all these little messages, and he put them, like, oh God, I can feel it in my throat when I share. He put them all around like a little like a trail, and I found them when I got home, and those messages I still have in a pot in my room, and I just, it really gave me strength and courage to keep going and to keep knowing I could do better, because this little human believed in me, and had faith in me. Gosh, I didn't realise that I was going to get emotional, but yeah, that was really beautiful, Henry. Do you remember doing that?
Vaguely.
Vaguely. Yeah. Maybe we'll take a breath with that, because that was quite emotive. Okay, big breath in. Children are so pure. That's right, dear Abigail. Thank you. Yeah, it's emotional. It's emotional. Just this inherent belief, like, Mummy, you can do it. And probably, darling, you probably felt some, like, fear at the same time. Like, oh my God, my mum's really not doing so well. Like, I've got to do something. Like, this feeling responsible at such a young age. So it's nuanced. It's nuanced.
Indeed.
And is there anything that you feel to share about that, or do you want to move on, darling?
I think that's it.
Okay, so shall we move on to self-care and resourcing?
Sure.
And do you want to say some words or ask a question?
I mean, for my self-care, it's quite simple. I don't know if the gym is really self-care. It's more just like getting fit. But I'd say the sauna and the plunge pool is more self-care. Yeah, that's definitely helping with my mental health. I notice the days that I go to the sauna, which is basically every day, I feel great. And then, like, for example, on Wednesday, my scooter was broken and I couldn't go to the gym. And then the day after, yesterday, it was just like a bit of like, I was a bit stuck. I wasn't stuck, but I was just like, I noticed my mental health was worse that day because I didn't do sauna the night before.
And darling, because you spoke about this in the last video, and I noticed I wished I asked you more about that. What do you mean when you're talking about mental health? My mental health wasn't as good. What does that mean for you?
What, linked to the sauna, or just linked to itself?
To itself. Can you talk more about mental health challenges?
I mean, it's like, at the moment it's been really good.
What does that mean?
For me, it's literally just dependent on the sauna. I can't lie. It is really.
What does good mental health mean for you?
I think just to be clear, and for me, if I know what's next and know what I'm doing, and I know what my vision and focus is for what I'm actually doing with my life, like not college and not work, because that's like what I'm being made to do. But like what I'm actually doing that's on the line of what I want to do with my life and what's going to make me be able to do what I want with my life. So like being really clear with that. And that's not so much mental health though, is it? But it does help me a lot, like knowing that like, I'm on track.
Right.
It really helps.
Right. And what helps you to? So when you're talking about good mental health, what I'm understanding is that you're clear in yourself, and you're focusing on your visions. Is that right?
Yeah. And I think just being like healthy with how you manage your mental health. Like, if you have emotions coming up, it's really important to like process that with whoever you can, or if you can't process it with anyone, like process it with yourself and just give yourself time to actually go into the feelings of whatever that is.
Wow, Henry.
And like if you've got anger, to express that, often there's sadness under that.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
Exactly. Wow. You know, we were talking a minute ago about oh gosh, it came and then it went. It was about it's gone for now.
What's happened?
That happens sometimes. But we're talking about the self-care piece and the mental health and feeling feelings, and that was it. We were talking about the conscious parenting and when, you know, shame spirals or challenging feelings can come up. And what I found that's so supportive is to reach out and resource myself outside of our relationship. So I can speak about challenging feelings and get supported for vulnerable parts in me. So like you've just said, Henry, to not repress, deny or push down any tender, uncomfortable, painful feelings that we have, to allow them to flow through. And in fact, I was just listening to an online share with Laurie Ladd, dear Laurie Ladd, who I follow. And yesterday she was just speaking about, and we've got this as a point, creating magic. And it's by feeling our feelings, like constantly feeling whatever feelings are there. And I know we haven't put inner child healing on this, but for me, a lot of this is about inner child healing. So when tender feelings, when grief comes up, when longing, come up, I notice that I have to like turn the mirror back and face myself, face my inner child, and resource and support my inner child to feel the feelings. Like it's the inner parenting.
Indeed, it's really helpful.
And does that resonate for you?
I haven't done so much inner child. I'm still a child, sort of. So like.
But like, what about inner child, like from when you were younger? Do you ever?
I think I still have a lot of processing to do, which I maybe don't actually think I've faced much of it yet. Or what I have faced has been when I was at Tanju. There's quite a lot of emotion there. It's hard to contain by myself.
Right.
Which is why I'm really looking forward to going back.
Oh, I'm so happy you're going back, Henry, because it's the perfect container to hold it. And thank you for sharing that. And what do you want to ask me some questions about self-care and resourcing?
So what would your self-care and resourcing look like?
So what I notice for myself is in the day, like there's a line between being productive and when I can get on and get things done, that's usually in the morning. And then I notice that what can happen is I can get to a point in the day when my energy can dip, and I notice then I have to really tune in and start to resource myself. Do something and not push, basically. Like, what doesn't work is when I push and force and keep like pushing on. That doesn't work at all. And I don't know if any of you follow human design, but I'm a projector, so I really need to be really deeply attuned with my energy and where I am and what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. So resourcing for me looks like having a bath, walking in nature. I love to create sacred space, so I've always got a candle lit and I always have incense on and the fire on when I'm in the treatment room. I always have a hot water bottle. So it's just this like idea of soothing and comforting, and this creates a lot of safety and relaxation in my body. And then my capacity expands and my nervous system is regulated and calm, and then I'm at my optimum level to function. And I've recently, inspired by Henry, started going to the gym, which is amazing. And I just noticed feeling stronger in my body as well. Feels so good, and like my fitness is increasing. So having this regular exercise, and we've got this ice bath in the garden, and having saunas, it's just amazing. And I notice as well, it really supports my mental health and well-being. So I can get more done in the day. I've got more capacity. So this is amazing, and I feel like and like we've got this other point of creating magic. You know, I really feel it. You know, I know it might not resonate with some people when we talk about frequencies, but for me, what we're talking about right now is creating higher frequencies, higher vibrations in ourselves, where we can then tune into magic and miracles, you know, these things, and creating our dreams and vision, the life that we want to create. And what do you feel about that, Henry? How are you
Yes.
creating your visions?
Indeed. Wow. What I'm doing at the moment, that's in the same road of this, what you're talking about, is just being really, trying to be really, I mean, I'm sort of pushing myself quite a lot, so I don't have much time, and the time I do have, I really want to like get on and learn what I want to learn. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep talking about the sauna, but it is literally it's gonna change my life, because if I keep doing it, like when I'm in the sauna, I've got this like so much dopamine, which is like the motivation hormone. And it's just like I just get flooded with it, and I know exactly what I want. I get so focused. I'm just staring at a bit of wood, like in front of me, but I'm just like so like know what I want.
It's amazing.
It's like only when I go by myself. That's why I don't really like going with you.
Right.
But like, yeah, and then I just like get home and I'm really relaxed and chilled out from that. But I also I've got all like the toxins out of me because it's even sweated out, and it's just like
amazing.
I'm just really clear mentally, physically, and everything's just like I know what I want.
Amazing.
That's why I love it, and I sleep so well. The day after it also has the same effect.
So would you say this supports you to create like the like a magical
Completely,
life?
Yeah. I just feel so good after it, and yeah, I just feel really clear with what I want, and it's like this whole feeling that just floods my body. It's only really when I'm in my own energy. If I'm with someone else, it doesn't really happen.
Okay.
And that like just I know what I want, and I'm the only person that can get what I want.
It's amazing.
But I have to take do this, and I'm just like,
wow.
Right, what's next?
Exactly, because this is the inspiration that comes in these spaces, and that's why, darling, I love that you really honour your sacred space and your time with yourself. It's like this inner solitude time. And I've always admired that about you, because you've always loved that. It's beautiful. And do you want to speak more to that?
Yeah, I definitely like spending time alone and just being with my own thoughts. I think it's really that's the most important relationship you could possibly have in your life. Is obviously with yourself.
Wow.
So if you can build that up, yeah, like it is so true. Like the sauna is just incredible. If you can build up this relationship with yourself and just have like time where you're not on your phone or listening to music even, just literally alone in your thoughts.
Wow.
Which is like I have that time in my sauna. Then you can just really build up this foundation with yourself that you can sort of deal with anything,
right?
And you can just handle it.
Amazing. And
know what to learn from it. I recently made a financial mistake. And instead of just like getting really annoyed with myself, so I lost money. I learned from it, and actually from that I've learnt so much, because it sort of made me want to learn more.
Wow.
So I realised,
wow.
Yeah.
So again, it's like the shadow work we were talking about before, and the compassion, like not going into shame spirals, having empathy, compassion, and trust that the darkness is part of the process.
Exactly.
You know, and trusting the learning that comes from it. Yeah. Like, what's the learning? You know, and going really gently.
And you start to really enjoy life as well.
Wow. Do you want to speak about that?
I mean, when you just sort of realise what's possible, and you do have these days where you just had it's actually been a shit day at first, and you just woken up and you're just like, oh, I can't be bothered. and then you've just slowly, like, you've actually changed that around just by having this, like, conversation with yourself. And then you sort of learn that you can do that, and you're like, oh my god, I can just literally have an amazing day. Nothing's changed.
Exactly.
It's the same day. Like,
yeah.
but I've just created this
Right.
because it's so possible. Like,
Amazing,
anyone can
Henry.
do that.
I notice with me, it's like I can interrupt now the thought loops when the mind starts going into this negative thinking spiral. I can challenge it, like, what's the belief under here that's not true, and alchemize it in the moment, or shift my energy, or do a clearing, you know, whatever I need to do, but to really bring it into the light, so I'm not going into some unconscious, like, thinking, because then of course my emotions will dip. And then I notice it's so interesting, because I find when we, you know, about this, the magic piece, whatever is going on internally, that's what I'm creating on. I manifest that on the outside as well. So if I'm not in a good space internally, I know that I need to stay quiet at home to, like, clear my energy and to restore myself and to, like, increase my vibration. Basically, that's what I'm doing. I know that doesn't that triggers some people, that terminology, but that's what I'm doing. And I know that if I go out and I socialize when I'm not feeling good in myself, I create process. There's like conflicts or drama or problems that happen. So I have to be in a really centered, balanced place in myself before, you know, I choose to go out. So, and that's the thing, like, really being mindful, like where I go, who I'm with, you know, this kind of thing. You know, so it's always feeling aligned and good, you know, and giving myself full permission to change my mind at any moment. Like, if I say yes to something, I can change my mind next, you know, in the next moment.
Exactly.
So, darling, we've covered all these pieces. Do you think you feel complete with those pieces for now? Or is there anything else that you'd like to share? Any inspiration about magic, miracles?
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone can create whatever life they want. I've really learnt that. And I think you just need to, I think it's really the most important thing is just building a relationship up with yourself where you can sort of handle anything and you actually want the life that you can create your life and do what you want with your life. So you sort of want to do these things that will inevitably enable you to do that.
It's amazing, Henry. So it's like staying on track and trusting what is helpful and just the commitment to them. Yeah, that's right.
Trust yourself as well.
And that's what I was going to say is, for me, it's all about the body, because I know that's my whole work is all around body work. But for me, it's really listening to my body, and when my body contracts, what I need to do. You know, it's this big thing of notice, trust, value, and communicate. Really being led by my body, so it's less by my mind. It's more that I'm like managing with loving compassion my mind, and really being guided by my body and by my heart. And then that's the piece for me. It's like living in the frequency of love. You know, how beautiful is that? Just living in the frequency of love.
Yeah, exactly.
So on that note, shall we share our appreciations?
Well, I appreciate that you have wanted to do these, because I hope that they inspire, or whatever it is, a few people. That would make it worth it. So I appreciate you for wanting to do this.
Beautiful, Henry. Thank you. And can I share my appreciation for you?
Indeed.
So my appreciation for you, I'm just going to take a breath and feel into it. I'm really appreciating your willingness and your openness to share, dear son, from your perspective, because I feel it's inspiring as well for a lot of other people, and that you also speak about the darkness and the dark times, and your courage to do that, especially on a live like this, because I feel it can alchemize shame for a lot of people, and also restore hope for a lot of people, that healing is possible. So I greatly appreciate how you role model and you trailblaze that in the world. So thank you, darling.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
And darling, would you like to share your appreciation for yourself?
Yeah, I think I appreciate myself for, like, being eager to learn and, like, knowing that there's so much I want to learn, and knowing I mean, actually, I think you mentioned it at the start. Like, the more I learn, the more I realise I have no clue about anything.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know nothing. But all I can do is learn what I can. And I appreciate myself for wanting to do that, and wanting to sort of improve myself. Indeed.
Beautiful. I love it, Henry. Yay, celebrating your appreciation
Splendid.
for yourself. And
What's yours?
thank you, darling. So my one for myself is, I appreciate this sort of, I notice I'm dissolving this perfectionist part of me doing lives, like it's got to be perfect, it's got to be this or that. No, it's okay if I lose my train of thought. It's okay if it's not all perfect. It's okay not to be perfect. And that's what I'm appreciating about myself.
Splendid.
So we're complete, and wanted to share an update that we've raised £750 of the 950 for Henry's GoFundMe, which is
Wow.
absolutely incredible.
Incredible.
Never could have imagined there'd be so many donations so quickly, because we only made it public on Sunday. And making a request, if anyone feels to support dear Henry for his Tanju, we have £200 more to raise before May the 8th, and I trust that that will happen and Henry's dreams will come true. So thank you.
So much, everybody. And I hope you have a splendid day. And enjoying
Beautiful sunshine.
enjoying the sunshine.
Was that your shoulder?
Yeah.
So much love, everyone, and thank you for watching us, and thank you for all your support.
Thank you.
Mwah! So much love.
Oh.
Darling, what happened?